Mac Engel, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. This good-looking man here tonight is not with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, but he aspires to be one day. This is former Indiana University, Stanford University, Dallas Cowboys, Washington Redskins, San Diego Chargers great, Mr. Babe Laufenberg. Did I miss any teams?
I don't think so, but you know, I've been in the Fort Worth Star-Telegram.
That's true.
I just haven't written for them.
Not yet. Day's not over.
Hey, I'm ready.
Okay, we're on a shot clock here on this Facebook Live before the Dallas Cowboys play the LA Rams on Saturday night because Babe has other media responsibilities, so we're going to keep this short. So you got to keep your answers short. That's
yes, sir.
on you. Okay.
Yes, I was in TV. I know how to.
You know how this works. Bang, bang, bang. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Yeah, we got to get out. We got to get out.
Yes.
All right, Babe. And everybody saw that Dallas was going to play the Rams on Saturday night. Everybody in Cowboys Nation said, "Oh, great, we got this. We can do this." Vegas didn't agree.
Yeah.
They put the Rams in it as a 7-point favorite. Why should Cowboys fans feel confident that they can win this game on Saturday night and advance to the first NFC title game, NFC championship game since, 23 years ago?
Yep.
Yeah, it seemed like yesterday. Why can they win?
They can win because they're going to play good defense. And everybody says you can't get into a scoring match with the Rams. I don't think they're going to need to. We've seen this defense hold some pretty good offenses in check. Most notably, obviously, New Orleans. When New Orleans came in, they were the highest scoring offense in the NFL. Cowboys held them to 10 points. Now, I don't see 10 coming, but I don't see the Rams putting up 40.
Okay, so the NFL in the last however many years, certainly since you left the league, has done everything in its power to increase scoring. It's January. Ultimately, does good pitching still stop good hitting in this situation?
Yeah, it's been interesting because the Cowboys were the highest scoring team on
the
wild card weekend of
yeah.
games, which was shocking. And we didn't have bad weather games for the most part. Sometimes you see
it was cold. Chicago was pretty cold.
38 degrees. You can deal with that.
It's balmy.
Yeah, I mean,
that
wasn't bad. But yeah, but it was an interesting. And you saw the trend actually, Mac, as the season progressed. And I even asked the head coach, who of course didn't answer, but you could see the trend of teams. I don't know if they're figuring these offenses out. The offenses are playing a little differently. Guys are getting hurt. Whatever it was, you could see the trend at about week 12 started to taper off. And the Rams, although they didn't have Todd Gurley and they rested some guys, they're kind of a pretty good indication of that. Their last 4 games were not nearly as productive as their first 12.
Is there any matchup in this game? And for those of you who are unaware, Babe breaks down the game much like a coach would. A lot of analysts say he's got extensive homework done for this game. So I know you watch these things. Is there any matchup that you see in this game other than Aaron Donald versus, say, Connor Williams? That's an obvious one. Is there any matchup that you say, oh boy, this one makes me sweat as a Cowboys fan?
Not necessarily.
No?
They don't have anyone offensively that the Cowboys can't get a handle on. Now, obviously, they're difficult. They're one of only 2 teams to have 2 1,200-yard receivers. And while the Cowboys are all thrilled about Amari Cooper here, as they should be, just figure that the Rams have 2 Amari Coopers, and then really one sitting on the bench in Cooper Kupp that was injured earlier this season. So they throw a lot at you. Obviously, Todd Gurley in the passing game. Zeke Elliott was a big part of the Cowboys' passing game this year, but it was all checkdowns and screens for the most part. Gurley is a downfield receiver, much the way Marshall Faulk was, and those guys are pretty rare when they come out of the backfield and run downfield routes, but Gurley presents that to him. You know,
in terms of defensively, one of the things that we've seen really well, the Cowboys do really well this season, is cover on the outside. Byron Jones has had a great year. Cheetah's had a nice season, obviously not as good as Byron. What have you seen specifically from their safety position this season? You know, they haven't had the ball hawking guy since really Roy Williams, Darren Woodson. Have you seen enough from those safeties to think that they can make the kind of play against Jared Goff that they need to win a game like this?
Yeah, I think Jeff Heath is effectively a linebacker now.
They've moved him down enough.
They play nickel, and he just sits in there, and he really just is a third backer. They play nickel 80% of the time. So the notion that you play this 4-3 defense, you really don't. You play a 4-2-5 for the most part because 80% of the time you don't have 3 linebackers on the field. Again, the Rams, they just present so many problems. And what's interesting to me, Mac, in kind of breaking down that tape a little bit, the Rams, they feel like they do so much, right? You say, oh my goodness, they've got this and this and this, and you start looking at it, and they really don't do a whole lot. They just put a lot of makeup and window dressing on things, and they run the same plays, but out of a lot of different motions, formations, but ball gets snapped, and ultimately, I don't want to say they're simple or basic, but they don't do as much as you think. Now, the whole key for the Cowboys is to not get your eyes moving and the ball gets snapped and then we don't know what's going on. You got to be able to lock in.
For people who don't know, Babe Laufenberg was at Stanford University and playing when this young kid came in and basically took his job and named John Elway.
Well, I was a young kid too.
Okay, that's right. But I love the story talking about you've never seen a guy like this. But the one thing you always heard when we watched John Elway play was, boy, he's got this it factor, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of this mythical thing that
John Wayne.
Right. To say whatever it is, he's got it. I have heard people around this building say Dak Prescott has that. He's not John Elway, so let's just stop there. But when you look at this kid and see him make throws that he hadn't made all game, he's missed this guy and he's missed that game. Then all of a sudden, in the fourth quarter, you're like, well, where's that been?
Right.
Do you buy that with that player?
I do think this. Dak is at his best late in the game. And if you were going to ask me what quality you want in your quarterback, number one, I want accuracy. I would say you got to be able to hit what you're throwing at. If you can't hit what you're throwing at, you're not going to be any good in any league. Number two, I want a guy that when the pressure moments come, he's good in those moments. And I don't think anyone would disagree that when the game is on the line, Dak is unflappable. It doesn't mean he's going to win them all. And like the guy you mentioned, John Elway, there's a few of them where you just say, gosh, I want the ball in his hands more than Elway. Now, Elway had some, I'll call them rare physical gifts as well. I mean,
throw a ball 1,000 yards.
He had a cannon, great escapability. He wasn't a fast guy. He reminded me in this sense of Tony Romo. Tony was not fast, but his escapability was tremendous. And Elway was a lot like that.
Last thing, I know I've kept a close eye on the clock here. So
the shot clock.
The shot clock. We've talked about the other guys got to be good in order to win that game.
I would say they're two end rushers, Randy Gregory and DeMarcus Lawrence. And when I'm looking at the Dallas defense, I got to take care of four people. If I'm Sean McVay, I got to take care of four people over there. 94, 90, 54, and 55.
That's a lot of guys to take.
Well, four, if I can kind of handle this.
Can Dallas get there? This is a big thing in the NFL. Can you get there with four? Can you press the quarterback with four guys? Not a fifth or a sixth, with just four. Can they get there with four?
You'd like to think you can. Now, that being said, Rams get the ball out pretty quickly. Yeah. They're the only offensive line this season in the NFL. Started all 5 games. Yeah. Excuse me, all 5 players, all 16 games. So there's a lot of continuity there. They're pretty good up front, and they played together. They're not playing backups in this game. Haven't done it all season. So it's going to be difficult, but Cowboys have some good players as well. But I do remember this. When Cowboys played Tampa Bay, Dirk Cutter, during one of his press conferences, said, if you don't get those 2 linebackers blocked, you're going to have a long day, being Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch. They didn't get them blocked in that game. Tampa Bay had a long day.
He's Babe Laufenberg, the great Babe Laufenberg. Thank you so much for joining here on Facebook
pleasure.
Live. This is Football Star Telegram. I'm Matt Engel. Cowboys Rams. For all your Cowboys coverage, please check StarTelegram.com.